that will be presented at the next, or the upcoming legislative session. The House bill and Senate bill both were submitted by the city attorney to the commission.
At the workshop.
Via email.
That's her workshop.
Well, I know that I asked for a copy of it, and I got a copy, and I did read the entire thing.
It isn't me that wants to see it, it's the public that we represent. I'd like to workshop it.
Well, this public record is on the internet.
It was workshopped at the workshop.
I didn't see the language, it's my problem. I
The
needed
language
the
for
public.
what?
The
For our
House bill.
endorsement, because I specifically asked that we take a neutral stance on it.
The
and that
resolution
we
was,
asked that the state handle the issue. I didn't personally want to endorse verbatim the language the state has in front of it. I wanted to endorse the concept of the state handling it.
no. The resolution was to support the Senate bill and House bill. The resolution was presented at the workshop in the draft form that was submitted by the city attorney. We discussed it at the workshop. There was consensus at the workshop to move forward on the resolution, on putting it on tonight's meeting agenda. It's only supporting the bills as submitted via the Senate and the House.
Guess I could ask the city attorney, does it need to be workshopped, or could it be, I mean, just to make sure that the public has, because of the nature of it, isn't that I want to pick the state's ordinance apart, it's that I want the public to have full disclosure of what our board is doing.
Would you like me to read the entire
I've read
resolution
it.
for you?
It's not me that's concerned about it, it's the public, I've read it, of course. I just don't want to.
The resolution is straightforward. It's only supporting the bills that's being submitted.
I've raised my concern, if it doesn't get done, I understand, I just want to I completely understand.
Any other comments, questions? Call vote. No other discussion?
Yeah. We did go and discuss it to a certain extent. There was a question as far, I know that the city attorney did send us the information prior to, in order to go ahead and review it. If you did not review it at that time, I'm not sure exactly whether or not that would be, there would be a need for another workshop on it. And if there was a need for another workshop, I guess we could go ahead and work through it today, if that would be the case, and then have a special meeting in order to go ahead and vote on it.
My intent is, if I might, one more time, because I understand it's a limited number, my intent was just to make sure that we have full public disclosure on this particular issue, because it's of such an interesting nature to the rest of, of everybody, that I'd like to, to get every possibility to be seen. So if it's not necessary, I just wanted to.
Just through the chair, we discussed this, and really what it was that we had a limited time, because this was going to be brought up before a second workshop, if I recall the conversation. Is that not correct? That this is going to be brought up in March, before we were going to have the second, another workshop, so therefore it would not be sent out until after the vote was taken. We wanted to do it before, and that's what we discussed. And I do believe there was a consensus on that. Is that, am I incorrect on saying that? Is that what everybody else?
That's why it's on tonight's agenda.
Am I wrong in saying, again, I'm asking as far as my memory's not that great, so I'm going to ask those people who were there as well.
I spoke in favor of sending it to the state to resolve it at the workshop, and I agree. I just didn't know at the time that it would come back 100% endorsing it. I thought we were sending, it was my understanding that we were sending the state a message that we need them to handle this non-local issue and make it, resolve it since it's in front of them. And I didn't want to, I was pretty specific, I didn't want to be in favor or against. I don't want to take a side at a city level, because we don't have the resources to do that legally, in my opinion.
Excuse me, may I, please? What we are doing with this resolution, Commissioner Hill, is as a commission, we are saying that we support the state bill, the Senate bill and the House bill, with regard to the Competitive Workforce Act. And that's all we're stating. We're not stating about enforcement, we're not stating about the human rights ordinance in and of itself. We are not stating anything to do with that. All we're saying is we support the bills that are introducing the Competitive Workforce Act via the Senate and via the House in this upcoming legislative session. That session starts, I think, March 4th. So we wanted this resolution passed so it could be submitted to the respective committees, and that was the intent of this resolution. That's all this resolution does.
Is there an opportunity to change the language slightly tonight and go ahead and vote on it?
You can always make an amendment.
Well,
So
You can always propose an amendment.
I would like to make an amendment to it if possible. I don't have exact language, so I've reached a little bit to the city attorney. I'd like it to represent the numbers in the vote and also record for the record how the vote went. And I'd like it to be this 3-2-5-2, whatever, 5-0, whatever the vote is, might be represented in the language of the ordinance.
what?
I mean,
It's
the
a
resolution,
resolution.
sorry, the
It's
resolution.
not an ordinance,
Sorry,
it's a
used the wrong-
resolution.
I did use the wrong language.
Are you asking to call the vote and have roll call? Is that what you're
To
requesting?
reflect that in our resolution in the state.
Why? Why?
Because it's not gonna be unanimous if I get to vote on it, that's why. And I don't want the state to think that it is.
I don't know how you, I don't know.
There's problems with it.
So, okay, so, can you try to state what your amendment would be, and then we would need a second and a vote on it?
Just that the vote's reflected in the language, and at the numbers, you don't need to put names of them, but the numbers.
Is there a second to that amendment? Okay, so it failed for lack of a second. Is there any other discussion on this resolution?
I have a moment.
Sir,
What?
courtesy, the floor is over
Okay,
for tonight, but
I got you.
you can speak at
Can I
all.
drop this note right here?
You can, thank you. Okay, so we'll go ahead and call the vote. All in favor of resolution number 1402?
Aye.
All opposed?
Opposed?
All right, so it's passed 4-1. Okay.
May I present this? Right there?
Clerk. Please go to the clerk here.
Thanks, sir.
Number 7, action on ordinances. Ordinance number